What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Radio Pulso, also known as the Boyle Heights Beat podcast. My name is Amy. I am a social justice intern at Legacy LA. I have been an intern at Legacy for about 7 months now, where we advocate for youth power and youth development in LA. In collaboration with Boyle Heights Beat, I am hosting today's podcast. Joining me today is my co-host, Zarina. So, how are you doing today, Zarina?
What's poppin', y'all? I'm feeling amazing today. This is my first time co-hosting, and I'm very excited to be here with Amy today. My name is Zarina, and I live in Boyle Heights. I'm attending Cal State LA, majoring in psychology, and I'm a social justice intern at Legacy LA, where we work towards building capacities of youth to reach their full potential and equip them with tools to transform their lives and community.
For this episode, we're highlighting folks from Ramona Gardens, a public housing development in the neighborhood of Boyle Heights. Radio Pulso is partnering with the nonprofit Legacy LA, which has served the community of Ramona Gardens for over a decade. From making positive interventions in the lives of youth with guided support and opportunities for residents to grow as leaders, to events catering to the neighborhood's needs, it's an organization that really knows the gardens through and through. So, what do we have going on today, Zarina?
As you mentioned, Amy, part of this nonprofit's mission is to uplift youth voices, especially those who live within Ramona Gardens, which is why today for this episode we have Shelcy, a youth council member who will tell us more about her experience growing up in Ramona Gardens and how has these experiences have changed over time.
So, Shelcy Alfaro is a 17-year-old Lincoln High School student and intern at Legacy LA. She has lived in Ramona Gardens since she was 8. Since 2020, Shelcy has been a part of the substance abuse campaign through Legacy, where she works for the journalism team. Community-driven and always striving to help others from the neighborhood she calls home. She says her passion stems from her neighbors, a boba-loving Capricorn at heart who loves listening to Future and hanging out with friends. She's here to tell us what she loves most about home.
Hi, Shelcy. Thank you for joining us. How are you today?
I'm feeling a little nervous right now, but I'm good.
Okay. Don't feel nervous. The questions are going to be very simple and fun.
Yes.
So we know you love boba. And fun fact, I work at a boba shop. So I thought that we would start with like a fun question just to like break the ice. So what's your favorite boba tea?
My favorite boba tea right now is Thai tea. Like, that's literally my favorite. Like, I got it like 2 times over the spring break. And it was like the first time I tried it was on Tuesday. And it was my first time. At first it was milk tea, but then like once I like looked at the like menu, I was like, oh, I want to try a new one. So then I tried it, and it was really, really good. I definitely recommend it.
I need to try that because I haven't. So
It's really good.
For our first question, how long have you been part of Legacy LA?
Well, I've been part of Legacy LA since I was in 6th grade, and yeah.
6th grade. Okay, that's a long time. So how do you say that your experience at Legacy kind of shaped your perceptions of youth development?
I feel like before like joining youth council and like Legacy LA, I didn't really know like the issues that were going around my community, and like being in youth council now like has like helped me learn about the issues such as like substance use disorder, because that's a very like important issue, and like the environmental like justice too, and yeah.
So what's your favorite part about being an intern at Legacy LA?
My favorite part of being an intern at Legacy LA is like getting out my comfort zone and doing things that I normally don't like do, and like just like having like people that are from my community in the same like cohort, and like we all relate to things and we all advocate it for the same thing, so I love it.
So you talk a lot about like advocating and things like that. So what does youth development mean to you?
Youth development means that having something that's very like important to you, such as like substance use disorder, and since I grew up in Ramona Gardens, I see like a lot of that going on, and I just want to have positive interventions for youth for the future, and I want to see like more activities and stuff like that in the future.
Yeah, I like how you connected like the problems you see in youth and how you want it to be developed, how you want it to be solved. So that's amazing, Chelsea. The next question is, how has Legacy helped you overcome academic and personal challenges?
I feel like it has helped me a lot since I've been here since 6th grade. I was kind of like a troublemaker kid at school, and I feel like joining Legacy has really helped me, and it has made me a better person. And like getting like mentored from all like the staff here, and like them giving me so much advice. I just feel like they made me who I am today,
Mhm.
and I thank them for that.
That's very inspiring. Speaking of inspiring, what inspired you to join the substance abuse campaign, and what changes have you seen since you first joined?
What inspired me of joining the substance use abuse campaign is that I have like a lot of like friends and like classmates that are like they got involved in that, and like personally like it's like really hard, like, and like that's like a very like go-to thing to, and that's how like youth um go through things like by using like drugs and stuff like that. And it's like a very easy access, and I like I want to like advocate for like more resources for the community, more resources for the youth, and to like so they could be better, and yeah, so they could have positive interventions and stuff like that.
Thank you so much for sharing all about your campaign, and it's amazing to know. To elaborate, what do you hope your campaign accomplishes?
What I hope my campaign accomplishes is that I would want to see more activities and more involvement in the school system, and especially like the community schools. Like that's where like a lot of youth deal with substance use disorder, and it's like a very big issue in this neighborhood of Boyle Heights.
Thank you for sharing. I know that it's very hard to come from maybe like Ramona Gardens, but how would you say, or can you tell us some positive attributes or points about being a Ramona Gardens resident?
I feel like some positive attributes in Ramona Gardens are like the neighbors, like they all know you, and like the raspado guy that always passes by, like I've been knowing him since elementary, and he's still there to this day, and like everyone knows him, so that kind of brings like the community, and like all the murals that have like the different meanings, and just all like everyone like going outside, like you could literally like, and going to the store, you could literally catch a friend and be like, or if like a friend that you haven't even seen for a long time, and it's just very like it's like very nice.
It's so nice to kind of have those connections that you had from years ago and still see them. So I think that's so precious. Being from Ramona Gardens and going to Lincoln High, how is your high school experience going?
My high school experience so far has been going good. I have a little ups and downs, but I always overcome them, and I always say try to be better each day. And since I didn't get my first year of high school, I started my 10th grade, and I was like very like nervous and like scared because I didn't know anyone, and I hadn't seen people in a long time. So it was a very big change. But now like I've been in school for like a year or two in high school, so I've got the hang of it, and like everyone's just so nice.
That's good. So, can you tell us what it's like living in Ramona Gardens with your family?
I feel like right now, since all my sisters have left college, I'm like the oldest right now in the house, and I have a little brother that's 6 years old. It's been okay. It gets tough sometimes because sometimes like not having like my siblings there, like it gets like all like the blame and everything goes on me, and it's just kind of hard like to escape, but I just push through, and yeah.
Yeah, there's like always sometimes there are some challenges that comes with responsibility, but it's so powerful to know that you're managing it very well. Um, what are some challenges you face because of your identity?
Some challenges I face with my identity are like, since I go to like a school, like all the administrators, like once they hear like, oh, you're from the Gardens projects, like they look at you differently, and they just think that you're that person, and it's just like so much stereotypes, and like also students too, And sometimes I'm like, no, like not everyone's like that. And um sometimes I have to speak about it because sometimes the things that they say is not right, and it just gets me like upset. But yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I know that it's super important to advocate for like people that came from the same community as you, so that is super powerful that you do that. But what is some advice that you would give other youth from RG who are maybe going through a similar experience as you?
I feel like some advice I would give to youth are like, don't be afraid like to speak up on things that aren't right, and don't be afraid to ask for help too, and join a lot of things because your high school year just flies so fast.
Those are some very nice motivational words actually. I think we all need motivations on our everyday. So thank you so much for sharing all of these amazing information about you. Just to want to know about your future plans and stuff like that. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Would I see myself in 5 years? Well, like I'm still trying to like figure that out, but I feel like I see myself graduating from college, having a career, being a like a better person to myself, and yeah.
So thank you so much for sharing about your experience. It was so inspiring and like I feel like I learned so much about you. Is there we are nearing the end of like our interview, so I just wanted to ask, is there anything else you'd like to add?
Mm, no, not right now.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining us, Serena. Do you have any ending points for our guest?
I just want to thank Shelcy for being such an amazing advocate for youth, being part of Legacy LA, and it's very amazing to know more about you. It definitely, like Amy mentioned, inspired me, and I'm sure it will inspire other listeners too. So it's amazing. Thank you so much for your time, and it was amazing interviewing you.
Yes, you're welcome.
Well, how was your first experience hosting Radio Pulso?
It was very interesting and it was kind of informing. I think it was really fun to learn about Chelsea and her experiences and the things that she went through, just like living in Ramona Gardens, because I'm not a Ramona Gardens resident, so it's kind of nice to know like stories from actual community members. So yeah, it was very fun listening to her, and overall, I think hosting is like so meaningful because you get to talk to people and kind of just ask questions and get inspired by their experiences.
I agree. It was interesting getting to know some of the youth who live within Ramona Gardens. I don't live in Ramona Gardens as well, so it was so amazing and a very good experience knowing about Chelsea. I think they all have different experiences and have unique perspective on things, so it's inspiring. Hopefully, this episode inspires listeners into talking to more community members and neighbors to learn from their experiences. And that's wrap for our Radio Pulso podcast. Thank you so much for listening. I am Zarina.
And I'm Amy. If you want to pitch us an idea for the radio show or our newspaper, send us an email at boyleheightsbeat@gmail.com. That's boyleheightsbeat@gmail.com. If your idea relates to the Ramona Gardens community, you'll be happy to know that Boyle Heights Beat is currently working with Legacy LA to create a podcast series on this special neighborhood. We love to hear from all of you as we pride ourselves in offering noticias por y para la comunidad, or we'd even love to have you on our show. Also, make sure to check us out on social media to stay up to date. You can follow us on Radio Pulso Instagram account. That's at Radio Pulso with 3 R's.
So don't forget to tune in. Until then, suerte Boyle Heights. Nos vemos en la calle. Bye.
Bye.